In a small village surrounded by forests and hills, there lived a man named Ethan. He was known as a quiet man, not because he was rude, but because life had taken his words away. Once, Ethan had been full of laughter. He talked endlessly, dreamed loudly, and trusted deeply. But years ago, betrayal by those he loved had broken something inside him. His closest friend had cheated him, his business collapsed, and the woman he was supposed to marry left without a goodbye. After that, Ethan stopped speaking much. He left the city and came to this village, where people did not ask questions. He built a small wooden house near the edge of the forest. He earned his living by repairing tools, fences, and farming equipment. People respected him, but no one truly knew him. Ethan preferred the company of trees to people. Trees never lied. Wind never betrayed. Silence never hurt. Every morning, he woke before sunrise, offered a quiet prayer, and walked into the forest. He felt peace there. But deep inside, there was still an empty space, something missing, something unnamed. He did not know that fate was preparing an unexpected friendship for him, one that would change his life forever. One evening, while returning home, Ethan heard a sound. It was faint, broken, and full of pain. At first, he ignored it. Life had taught him that responding to cries often brought trouble. But the sound came again, clearer this time. Ethan stopped. The cry was not human. It was an animal. Slowly, he followed the sound into the thick bushes. There, lying near a fallen tree, was a wounded wolf. The wolf was young, gray with white patches, its leg trapped under a heavy branch. Blood stained the ground. Its eyes were filled with fear, not anger. The wolf growled weakly when it saw Ethan. Ethan stood still. "I won't hurt you," he whispered, surprised that he spoke aloud. The wolf did not understand words, but it understood tone. Ethan's voice carried no threat. Carefully, Ethan moved closer. "The wolf tried to pull its leg free but cried out in pain. Ethan knew wolves were dangerous. One wrong move could cost him his life. But something in the wolf's eyes stopped him from walking away. They were the eyes of someone abandoned. Slowly, Ethan lifted the branch. The wolf screamed, then collapsed. It tried to stand but fell again. Ethan tore a piece of cloth from his shirt and wrapped the wound. The wolf trembled but did not bite. That moment sealed a silent promise between them, a promise neither spoke, but both understood. Ethan carried the wolf on his shoulders. It was heavy, but he did not complain. When villagers saw him carrying a wolf, they were shocked. "Are you mad?" one man shouted. "It will kill you," another warned. Ethan did not reply. He brought the wolf into his house and locked the door. He cleaned the wound carefully, using herbs he knew well. The wolf watched him closely, ready to attack if needed, but it didn't. Days passed. The wolf grew stronger, but it did not leave. Ethan fed it meat, water, and warmth. At night, the wolf slept near the door, guarding him. During the day, it sat quietly, watching Ethan work. Ethan named him Shadow. Shadow did not bark like a dog. He did not obey commands. He was wild, but loyal. Ethan spoke to Shadow often about pain, about betrayal, about loneliness. Shadow listened. Animals do not interrupt. They do not judge. They do not leave when stories become heavy. Slowly, Ethan found himself smiling again. Trust does not come suddenly. It grows. Shadow followed Ethan everywhere, into the forest, to the fields, and even to the village edge. People feared Shadow, but they also noticed something strange. The wolf was gentle. Children watched from a distance as Shadow walked beside Ethan like a shadow, true to his name. One day, a child fell into the river. The current was strong. Before anyone could react, Shadow jumped in. He grabbed the child's shirt and dragged him to safety. The village fell silent. From that day on, fear turned into respect. Shadow was no longer just a wolf. He was family. One winter night, disaster struck. A fire broke out in the forest. Flames rose high, and the wind spread them fast. Villagers panicked. Ethan was asleep when Shadow began howling loud and desperate. Ethan woke up and smelled smoke. Shadow pulled at his clothes, urging him outside. The fire was coming fast. Shadow led Ethan through a narrow path only animals knew. They escaped just in time. Many villagers survived because Shadow guided them. But the forest burned. Trees that once gave peace turned to ash. Ethan cried that night not for himself, but for the home he had loved. Shadow sat beside him, placing his head on Ethan's knee. For the first time in years, Ethan cried openly. After the fire, villagers rebuilt together. Ethan helped everyone. Shadow stayed close. Years passed. Ethan aged. Shadow aged faster. Gray fur turned white. Steps slowed. But loyalty never faded. Every morning, they walked together, shorter now, slower, but still together. One morning, Shadow did not wake up. Ethan felt it before he saw it. Shadow lay peacefully, eyes closed, breathing gone. Ethan knelt beside him. "You stayed," he whispered. "When everyone left, you stayed." Ethan buried Shadow under the old oak tree, the last tree that survived the fire. Villagers gathered silently. No words were needed. Ethan did not become lonely again, because love, once given, never leaves. He built a shelter for injured animals near his home. He spoke more now, smiled more, lived more. Shadow had taught him the most important lesson of all: true friendship does not need words. It needs loyalty, trust, and a heart that stays even when it could run away. And somewhere, beyond forests and fire, a wolf's spirit ran free, knowing he had kept his promise. Animals can heal wounds humans create. Friendship is not about language, it is about loyalty.